say filming in progress.
Are you gonna? Who's gonna open it up?
What episode is this?
31.
We always guess, but
Is it really 31 or did you just make it up?
31, because Courtney was 30. First female guess, but
How was that one good? Really good?
you did good.
Mm-hmm.
You really liked it. All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Raw Youth Podcast. We finally have Tweedledee and Tweedledum back on the show here, Mr. Dom and Mr. Matthew. We're going to be doing a Q&A, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never know what we're walking into, but I think we're on episode 31 today. It's been a while since we've done a owner's Q&A, so we're going to rock into it. We asked you guys for questions on the Instagram. And before we go into that, is there anything new that we need to update, or are we just rocking?
Just give him an
Bro, I
update.
haven't been on in a fucking year.
No.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, not from you, not in like the last week or so.
Oh, for like work?
Sometimes- Not really. We talked about the event in like the last one, and
Yeah, how have you been?
I'm good.
Yeah, you've been very busy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
extremely busy.
Feels good to be back.
How are you, Jansen?
Good.
Well, to start it off, are we looking to do any more events outside of Florida? So like New York, California?
I think we're going to do this one in Orlando. And I think we kind of want to like target each like region of the U.S. one by one and just keep doing them.
that is a good question. We haven't really decided that though. But like,
Yeah.
is this going to be like our big home base, always in Florida event, and then we'll do other small ones, or are we going to move this event around the country?
I mean, I think we just got to see how it goes.
Yeah.
I think if we keep doing it the way we're doing it now, technically it'd be easy to move it because it's at a resort already.
Yeah.
I think if it ever gets to the point where it's so big that we do it here, we would probably have like this one all the time and then have the other little ones.
And you'll want to hear and go around for others.
Yeah.
When this like building's fully set up.
Yeah, I mean,
To
it's not even
entertain.
close to being ready yet.
Jansen, any locations you'd like to see an event in?
I mean, I think we had a good turnout last year in New York. It'd be fun to go back up there and
Yeah.
do something.
But
Go out West Coast. I would
keep
love to do
West-
something on the West Coast too.
Never been to the West Coast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Texas is the first we've been over.
yeah. California would be sick.
I think Arizona would be dope too.
I did a small one in Arizona for
You did too.
Vegas discount.
Oh no. Yeah, that's right. You're right.
Are you doing something before GNC? Or no? Maybe I shouldn't have said
We're
that.
doing one we might be doing one in New York or New Jersey actually.
Okay.
Oh
But that's after.
Yeah.
Well, there's multiple versions of this question, but it's like a crash course for how to start a company.
Crash.
And I thought that would be a great.
I don't know. I mean, this is like a stupid. I hate to say it, but it's kind of like a stupid question, right? I think when it comes to like starting a company, like you know what you want to do. There's like an issue that you can fix, or there's a product that you're making better, and you start it.
Mm-hmm.
You figure out like the difficult shit along the way. If you're worried about knowing how to start or run a company before you even start it, you're never gonna start.
a good
Asking
answer.
how to start a business is the wrong question.
Yeah.
Reevaluate your question, then go from there.
But yeah, so diving a little bit deeper into that realm. So what inspired you and Matt to create Raw Nutrition? That was like almost every question was like.
So just to backtrack really quick, I think it's important that you align with people that you want to hang out with and communicate with outside of work.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really, I mean, when you see a lot of things go wrong in business, it's because people stop getting along, so, and I've actually had this question on my own Q&A a lot about, going into partnerships and businesses, but really it's about finding people that you really mesh well with and can communicate with. And then really, we've figured it out as we go.
Yeah.
We're still learning every day. We're still coming into new situations that we've never been faced with, and the rate of growth and what comes along with that. We're still learning. We're still figuring it out. We don't all have it figured out, so. But really, I think the core group is what's really, really important. And obviously, if you're going into business for yourself, that doesn't apply to you. But finding people that you really connect well with is a huge part of it.
Anything you'd like to add?
No, I mean he's right. I think what's the question? Why we started Raw?
What inspired you guys to create it? So I guess go deeper into like, give us a walkthrough, because I guess a lot, like you've talked about it on this podcast before, but now like we have a lot of new eyes. So kind of give them a refresher of like, when was it? What happened? How did the first interactions about it come to be?
You want to take it?
Yeah, I mean, so to be fully transparent, this wasn't our idea. Coming up with Raw Nutrition and a sports supplement line wasn't something that we necessarily wanted to do or even set out to do. But it was continuing to be asked by you guys, and we felt really more pulled and compelled to do it because it kept being asked of us. From Dom's perspective, one of the things that he was really passionate about and adamant about is that we didn't blur the lines of what Revive was in terms of a vitamin nutraceutical line. And then within that, you know, kind of pulling in my niche of competing and the individual ingredients that I liked my athletes to be on, that's really how it came to be. So it wasn't, we knew for a fact that we didn't want to blend sports supplements, sports nutrition in with Revive. But it kept being asked, you know, when are you guys going to come out with a creatine? When are you guys going to come out with like a simple protein? And really that's how the conversation started to happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So good mistake then, or like a good push. So it was never intended.
I mean, again, going back to the first question, right? Like, how do you start a new business? Like at that point, I had felt like the supplement industry was super saturated, and I was like, I don't want to do the same thing that everyone else does. Makes a protein, makes a pre-workout. And I think at that point, we kind of figured like, if we're going to do this, we need to find like someone who can be the face of it, who is, you know, incredibly talented. And that was Chris, obviously. And we really like didn't have a plan B. I mean, that was our plan from the beginning. And that was, we were going to figure out how to make it work.
When starting Raw, what were some of the hurdles that each of you had to face? And Chris, you can add in once you did join the company. Like, what were hurdles that you had to overcome just to keep it?
You learn new things every time you start a business, right? I think Raw was easier because we already had Revive.
Yeah.
So like we understood contract manufacturing, we understood, you know, terms, margin, you know, all the things that you just learn as you kind of start. And we were blessed enough with Revive to have 2 products to start. So like we didn't have 20 SKUs. Like now I think we have like over 40 SKUs or close to 40 SKUs.
36.
But you know, when we started, we had 2. So it was like easy to adapt and understand all of these things when you were able to focus on a few things and just grow little by little and grow slow and smart. So I think we had a really, really unfair advantage when we started Raw. But with anything, you know, the bigger numbers, bigger volume, it's all the same stuff. It's just different items you're selling, right?
And obviously, I mean, we had tremendous support from our current client, you know, customer base of Revive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never forget. We launched on August 1st, and like the feedback and the support that day, and all the people that bought. You know, I mean, it was like really impressive. I think for the times of where we were at.
This was like right in the middle of COVID.
Yeah, right. Yeah, in the middle of COVID.
The prices were as high as they could ever be for raw ingredients. It wasn't the best time to start a supplement company.
But from a manufacturing side, I mean, one of the initial hurdles, and we still face this. We've said this before on the podcast. We face it now. Flavoring things is one of the biggest challenges that we have. I mean, I would say. I mean, there's a lot of challenges, but like a challenge that impacts you guys is we want to make sure that the ingredients are there, the quality's there, but then also trying to get that to a flavor system or digestibility that works well with everybody. I mean, we just had another hour-long meeting about it yesterday, you know, continuing to improve upon that, sourcing of ingredients, you know, all those things to make a finished product. It's a constant work in progress.
Yeah, and to like double on that, like we've done a lot since we started. Like for instance, now we're in control of our raw ingredients. So like now every product that you get, no matter what manufacturer is making it, it's the same raw ingredient from the same supplier. Where when we first started the company, we didn't have that luxury. We didn't have a purchaser. We didn't have a buyer. What we had was like we would call a manufacturing company and say, hey, how much is this going to cost for us to make it? And then they would put their suppliers in there, which could be different from the ones that we've used in the past, which could alter the flavor of the product. It could alter the integrity of the product. So now that we have this ability to go to these contract manufacturers and say, hey, we are going to supply you with all of the raws, and all you're going to do is give us like a tolling fee basically to bottle it. You know, there's so much more consistency throughout everything when you can get in control of all of those things.
Someone asked about how long on average would you say like the formulation, the taste, and that entire process as a whole, time span? What's like
start to finish?
Yeah.
I would say on average 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Also depends. Because sometimes we'll like ask for like protein's already formulated.
Yeah.
On a new those are quicker than to just come out with new flavors.
Yeah.
And then if we're just like, we ask for some samples, sometimes we'll, like what's something we've tried like 20 times? I can't, like cookies and cream, we've gone through like 100.
Yeah.
Vegan protein, we've gone through so many. And then sometimes they send you one and the first one's amazing. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Or even sometimes we'll ask for like blackberry lemonade and it tastes more like cherry limeade. So we're like, fuck it, just call it something else and use it.
Yeah. No, that happens a lot.
Then they roll out. Then it's like 8 to 12 weeks to manufacture.
Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. And like, as you put these different processes in place, right? Like, it was way easier for us to go to a company and say, hey, can you make us these samples? But now we have like an internal food science company that works with us. So we go to them and we say, hey, we want this product made. Like, we want it to taste incredible. They send us samples now. We approve those samples. Then we get a purchaser to start going after all the raws. Then we send that to a contract manufacturer. The contract manufacturer has to match what the food scientist did. And then we get those samples. We approve those samples. Then we get the production time. So because we have those other steps in place now, it takes longer, but the integrity and the quality of the product is always going to be better this way. So, it's like, as you grow, you have to put these things in place because we have so many things going on at once now. We don't have the ability to do what we used to do and take the time to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not a problem like you asked, but a new challenge isn't. You said as you grow, you have to do the things you don't. We could have kept doing it the way we were and the way we were before, but we have more funds now, more time. We're like ahead of the game. We're like, instead of just like pocketing it and just keeping the stuff the same, we're continuously trying to make everything better and better. So that now we hire someone in between the sampling process to like a food science person who's actually going to nail it perfectly, formulate things as we want it, find ways to mask flavors that we don't want to taste and shit, and then step a level up. But it costs a lot more money, but if we're in a position to do that, then we choose to do that. So a lot of brands, they'll just grow and stick with the same old ways and then slowly fall behind because other people are getting ahead of them.
And then another benefit to this that we're all thrilled about is now we have the rights to our own flavors. So versus the manufacturer, a lot of supplement companies, the manufacturer actually owns that flavor, and then they could be then giving that out to other companies as well.
I mean, we've been there. We've asked some contract manufacturers, and we don't use these people anymore, but be like, hey, we really like this protein, and they're like, oh, I'll just send you the one we made for this company. And it's like, well, it's kind of not what we want. We want something that's going to be original to us. And also, like, it's kind of fucking scary because you're going to do the same thing to another company with our stuff. So being able to own our flavor code, and then they can't get it from the flavor house. The flavor house, it's ours. So it has to be released by us, which is cool.
Keeps us on top.
Yeah.
What would you say each of your favorite products are on Raw? If you had to choose one.
I'm a big Essential Pre guy right now. I really like the Essential Pre. I take it in the morning every day. It's like the perfect amount of caffeine for me.
I still am a big Babbage guy.
Yeah, figured.
I love Babbage.
Shocker.
It's a big shocker. Sometimes I'll do one scoop instead of two and mix pump. So I'll do pump and Babbage, and sometimes I just double scoop it, but that's my go-to. I have my array of flavors, switch it up
Any
every day.
specific flavor? Green
Dragon
Crush?
Fruit's been on the top lately.
Not Green Crush.
Green Crush is fire, too. Green Crush is going to come back into season for summer. Trust me, when it gets 100 degrees out, you're all going to want fucking Green Crush. The cucumber lime freshness is great, but Dragon Fruit is amazing.
Yeah. Jansen, what's your
So
favorite?
I like getting caffeine from coffee in the morning just because I just enjoy that. So in the morning, I've been training in the morning. I do 2 scoops of Pump Squared, 2 scoops of Pico 2, 2 scoops of Pump, and a scoop of creatine. So that's kind of my
In your
go-to.
coffee?
No, I just drink my coffee
That's
first.
a nasty
Like,
ass
what?
guy.
Mushroom tasting coffee. Ooh.
I do like the caffeine from coffee too, but I still have my
Essential.
I have a small coffee in the morning, and then I have pre-workout before the gym.
Yeah.
But you're training at night now, right?
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
I have better
Couldn't
workouts.
hack it.
Might try it again.
Only the cool kids work out in the morning.
That's right.
You need food in your
You've
system.
been training in the morning too, right?
Yeah. It's
It's tough, but it's
battle.
better.
I can't keep my sleep schedule when I travel on weekends, and I
Yeah.
like if I'm up till like we were out till midnight the one night for dinner even, and I was fucked the next day. I was so tired for 2 days afterwards. I couldn't wake
It's
up.
because you're old, bro.
I'm really fucking old.
old man Bumstead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually have to go to bed by like 9:30, 10 to be able to wake up at
Yeah.
like 5.
I'm literally in a coma by 10. I eat a gummy at like 9:30, and I'm zooted out of my mind by 10.
What throughout this whole journey with Raw, what would you say for each of you your most like humbling experience, if you could recall one?
So, I mean, there's probably so many. I'll just share one from that I just had this week, because I still think the three of us in this room, like, we don't always realize the impact that we're having on people. So my cousin's son is 13. My mom just went up there for a wedding, and she just kind of conveyed to me how much he loved the brand. And so I just sent him a package last week, and my cousin actually filmed him opening up this package without him knowing, and just like the overwhelming amount of like appreciation he had for 2 bottles of Thavage, a bottle of protein, and some shirts. Just was like, I mean, it just like really hit me. Like, wow, this is like really cool that, you know, people love what we're doing so much. And he didn't even realize that I sent it until like kind of a little bit after the fact. So it was just like a big surprise, and he was just like totally overwhelmed. But I mean, you have these kids that just will do anything to support our brand, and that's just, I mean, it's so awesome.
Yeah. You go next.
I don't even know the proper definition of being humbled. You know?
Yeah, I was it did like so when I think of like
People
being
use it in
humbled, I
two
think of
ways.
like walking it and being like, fuck, like we're nowhere near like where.
It's
I
your
think of when I
perception
stand
it.
beside like Urs on stage, you know, I humble him. Just kidding, Urs, I love you. But that's what that comes into my mind. But I also, people normally use it in the terms of like what Matt just did. That's how it's normally used.
Yeah.
That's how I'm. Yeah. So like, where you've noticed like, holy shit, like Raw's impact is like way bigger than. That
I'd
you
say
think
our
about.
events then.
Your events.
Going up to our events.
Yeah.
I'm hard to connect with people online, even on the phone. I hate speaking on the phone, but when I like see someone in person, or hundreds or thousands of people in person, and like what they say to us, and like now that it's becoming like, I've always done meet and greets, and it's always been to meet me, and now that so many people are like swapping out my merch to wear Raw and talking to me about Raw and the brand rather than just about me, I'm like, fuck, this is cool. This is like becoming our goal of becoming something so much bigger than myself, which is, I think, something that's very cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's not just events, but it's like even now, like our gym, right? Like people come to the gym all the time and just work out, and like people will come up to us and like, you know, talk to me about like my life, which is cool, right? Like they follow it, they like love it, they love to be a part of it, and I've never like obviously experienced that before, so it's definitely something but it also makes you realize like you have a huge developmental impact on these kids because they look up to all of us like a lot, especially Chris.
Yeah.
You know, and I go back to the same thing every time. Like, I don't think anyone does a better job of like making sure these kids understand like the reason why he's here than he does. So I think that it's like it's a perfect mesh of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, even walking into our gym, you know,
Yeah.
I think sometimes we might complain about it, but like the amount of people that are traveling there or showing up or wearing our merch, like, I mean, it truly is like, it's overwhelming at times, you know?
No, it's definitely cool, especially with how fast I would say Raw has grown. Like it's skyrocketed, and a lot of the questions people asked, how did we manage to make the presence of the brand feel more like a family rather than just like another supplement company?
I don't think we did that. I think that's just what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think you can't like plan that. That's not something that you're going to like sit down and be like, how do we make people feel like they're part of a family?
Yeah.
You know, you either have it or you don't. And I think it starts from the top, and we are very similar. Like we're very family oriented, and it just trickles down. Yeah.
Yeah, I think even within our walls where it starts, it's like we've never felt like this brand was like one person, or like Dom's the boss, he does everything. I'm in store, he does everything. Matt's the coach guy, formulating, boss, doing everything. You know, it's always been like we let you guys literally run the content sometimes.
We don't even have titles.
No.
Like I was just thinking about this the other day. Like
No
we don't even have.
You go to
like,
say you're like, yeah.
Like we own it together. Like you know, like there's nothing that we
like,
all do everything together.
Yeah. I've been inside a lot of supplement companies like when I used to when I was younger, and it was always like quiet cubicles. Someone tell them what to do it by themselves. You know, we'll literally leave for 2 weeks and don't know what you guys are doing. You'll have filmed 2 podcasts yourself.
Yeah.
And like, you know, everyone's a family and they just kind of bounce around and do everything they can. And people just feel that. That's what comes off our brand, how we represent it. So
I also like, I don't want to say this in like a negative way, but I think people don't understand like what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, people are like, Raw's so big. Like we're not even close to like not saying that we're not big, but I don't think you're comparing it to other supplement companies. And like, I don't want to be compared to, I mean, I think you agree on this too. Like, it's more so like, it's just us, right? Like, we don't know how big it's going to be. We don't know like how much we're going to impact people, but it's not just supplements, right? And I think ultimately that's like the message we're trying to convey. And I don't think what we're going to do, anyone's done yet. If everything goes as planned. So I hate when like people are like, oh, it grew so fat. Like, yeah, it did, but like we're not there yet.
That's very exciting to hear. So I guess that would be the next question then. So what's Raw's next big goal on the horizon for 2023, if you'd like to share?
We can kind of go over like the strategy, like our new marketing strategy, but not really. kind of like letting it out. I kinda wanted to see it.
Without decrypting it.
Yeah, I don't want to do that actually. No, I'm not telling you.
We had some meetings last week, and I think the overall theme of those meetings was just for our brand to never just be in a corner, like never be an association of, oh, Raw is this, or Raw is known for this, but really, like Dom's saying, like we didn't do this just to create supplements. Supplements is a pathway to impact people's lives. To do more of these meet and greets, to hang out with people, to just create a culture that people want to be involved in. If it's a bottle of protein or a bottle of creatine, great, but like
or nothing. Don't buy anything. Just support us for what we believe in.
Yep.
And I think going back to it, like that meeting, the biggest thing that we got out of that meeting was like, what does Raw stand for? And we keep going back to this, like being your best self no matter what it is, like whether you're a garbage man, a fucking teacher, a bodybuilder, whatever it is, just doing it with 100% effort, right? And then being unapologetically, like genuinely yourself. Don't be fake, don't be someone you're not. And I think that's what like our goal for 2023 is to just like push that message hard.
Yes.
And then if you buy some subs along the way, great, we appreciate it.
Yeah, like active goal is to have that message understood by people outside of just the ones who watch the podcast and our YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like find and discover ways, like actionable steps of how we can push that out to like the masses, where people can like be a part of that culture and like grow within that. So outside of buying stuff, like we're talking about bigger than that.
Ideally, you'd like Raw to be then known as a message versus a product.
Something to stand for, right? Like what is being Raw, like what does being a part of Raw mean to us?
Yeah.
And how our goal is to just get that message to transpire. And I think we've done a great job of it because we've done the ambassador videos and they kind of say the same stuff back, but more mainstream understanding of what our true passion and our true goals are.
What are your favorite moments as the company's been growing? Like top 3 moments that you've all had?
I hate picking moments.
Yeah.
Just pick 3 random moments.
I'm so like,
yeah.
Courtney's always like, you're so neutral. And I'm like, because everything's just good. How do I pick out moments in that? Moving into this place was really cool.
Yeah.
2 points. I'll just, not my top 3, but 2 points were around to that. 1, moving into this place was really cool. And then when we filled that warehouse in about 4 months, that was like scary, but also very cool. Because like coming from warehouse to our third warehouse and then filling it up this quick, we're like, fuck, like it's pretty insane. And watching how quick it just started slowly coming close to the edge, and now we have no space in there, is wild. So I mean, definitely super cool.
That's scary though too. Like,
yeah.
Do you have any favorite moments?
I think my favorite things stem from like the guys like getting new cars, getting new houses. Like I think that to me is probably like the most rewarding, because like I like materialistic stuff for sure. Like don't get it twisted, but like
seeing other people do well. I
just like seeing other people like hit goals and like do things that they didn't think they could. So I think that's probably like my favorite thing that's collectively my favorite thing.
Do you have any favorite moments?
I mean, I don't know if it's like my favorite, but I know seeing our brand in Vitamin Shop for the first time, that was super cool, because that's like in college, that's where I shopped. Yeah. That's where I went, and even still to this day, like seeing that is just like, it's a crazy thing to me, like our brand is on shelf nationwide. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, the Houston event was super cool. I think that was a really good event. I think we really blended well as a team. That's another one that sticks out to me, and also kind of showed me like, when we looked out, before we went out there, like seeing all these people that were there to support us. That was a big one for me. Yeah, that was really cool. Like, I mean, watching you guys grow like professionally is some of the coolest shit like you can ever see. Yeah. Coming from like you guys first getting here and like getting your feet wet, and then like get it, I don't know when it's, some people get it sooner than others, but like there's a point where you guys all like you get it, and some get it way faster and some don't, and then some don't get it at all and they're not here anymore. Yeah. But when you guys get your stride and you're on your shit and you're just doing your thing, and like you guys, there's nothing cooler to see than because we're a young bro. The oldest person in this building is 33 years old. You know? It's me and Matt. I mean, Matt's actually older than me, so he's the old one.
Wow, throw a wonder.
But if you look at any company, of our magnitude,
Yeah.
I can guarantee you it's not filled with kids that are, you know, our age.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's a hard thing to do. It's like rewarding, right? It's
Yeah.
rewarding because you get a lot out of the younger people, and like it's cool to see them grow and mold. It's difficult because you guys are young. So you guys, you know, when I was your age, I was not nearly as put together as you guys are now, and I always have to remind myself that. But at the end of the day, you guys are so talented. And it's so cool to watch you guys just professionally grow, like from afar, you know, and just being able to see it from like a bird's eye view is really rewarding.
I think, I mean, we talked about this last week. It's one thing to say it, but like we don't have a toxic environment here.
No.
You know, like the workspace it's awesome.
Yeah. We got Janitor Joe
very,
now, so-
very little negativity. You know, I mean, it's truly a fun place to come, and we work and get our stuff done. But there's
Have
none of
fun.
that like walking on eggshells feel, or
Yeah.
you know, it's nice.
Yeah, I would definitely say my personal favorite would definitely be J-Dubs.
Yeah.
That
I love J-Dub.
freaking
Just sass coming out of that guy all the time.
But no, from hindsight, like his like, you gave him the opportunity and he flourished.
Yeah.
Like now
Kicks
his
ass.
milestones
Yeah.
are crazy.
Yeah.
But that was definitely one of the key moments that when I started working here, I was just like, you can, if you put your work in and like you like, because at the end of the day, like we're all having fun.
Of
Like,
course, yeah.
Like yes, our creative team, we get our shit done, but we're children at the same time.
Yeah, and that's
So-
okay.
Exactly.
There's
but
nothing
As
like,
long as the job gets done.
yeah,
you're
as long as
having
the job
fun,
gets
then
done. But like
keep doing it.
a lot of people can't say that. Like a lot of people I definitely know can't say like they get to go to work with their closest friends
Yeah.
and chase something together. So that's definitely a huge part. And that only comes from the top. So
But it's kudos to you guys too, because one thing you do have to remember is it all starts this way.
yeah.
You know, like every company starts with a good environment. And I do agree that it comes from the top. Like, you know, what we do is what you guys watch. So if we're doing stuff that's not right, then it kind of trickles down into everybody. But at the same time, like it takes a real a group of like very intelligent, young, successful kids to be able to work together every day, put your differences aside when you're arguing, figure shit out, and then become best friends and stay best friends throughout the whole process. And you guys do that every day. It's not an easy thing, and you guys should commend yourselves for it, because you guys, if anything, your relationships have gotten stronger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I haven't seen any of you guys have a falling out ever. Like you guys are all, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
guys, if whatever happens, you guys fix it, you keep going, and that's rare. So
You brought up a great name. You brought up Janitor Joe. So this was going to be the next question. Someone asked, what is the wildest employee story? And I have a feeling it just happened.
was this at work or anywhere?
You could say at here or anywhere, but the first one that came to mind was one that just happened. And I was like,
Like it's got to be related to work somehow, not just like
Yeah.
one of Joey's craziest stories.
I don't even know if it's Joe. Like I gotta think. I mean, John has some wild stories. J-Dub.
J-Dub?
Yeah, and they're work related. I can't put them on the podcast though, so they happened around the vicinity of
Yeah.
work. Oh God, no, I can't say it. I want to so bad.
I want to hear what this is after.
No, you know. I think you were here when it happened.
Really?
Yeah, it was the presents on his birthday. You don't remember that? At the old warehouse?
No.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you after the podcast. Fuck, I don't know. What do you got?
I mean, I'm trying to think.
Oh, one of our packing girls got arrested.
yeah.
That's probably the worst one, right?
Well, don't say her name.
Why? She don't care.
Don't put that on the internet.
Why?
Because it's a poor girl.
She's got her mugshot like hung up in the
Yeah, there's 4 people in there. There's thousands of
4
people.
people.
No, I filmed it and put it on Instagram.
Bleep that name.
No, yeah, just bleep.
Bleep the name.
Yeah.
I'll
He's
bleep don't
gonna
like. Bleep it, John.
We said it 3 times. You just said it again.
Joking. That's the point.
Oh,
I think that's probably the wildest one. That I can
yeah.
think of.
That,
That was
yeah.
unrelated to work, technically.
It's-
I
yeah.
mean, Joey getting naked and tanned up in Matt's office. Pretty wild.
They'll see that in real life. So
That video gone up yet?
no, it's going up soon
Oh.
though.
The
Stay tuned for that
Did
one.
you see his last post where the can exploded?
That was funnier than the actual post.
Yeah.
That was fucking
That
funny.
was
Did you see
fucking
that
dumb.
story?
Yeah. First take of
The
the
wittiest-
Yeah, he's trying to shotgun the bum
Yeah.
energy. And then he's like, behind the scenes, what really happened? Like, this happened to a girl last weekend or something.
Reminds me of a girl I took home once.
He tries to shotgun it, pops it, and just squirts all over his face. Fucking such an idiot.
He's the best. Love him.
When you guys ask me, like, can we do a collab post with him? I'm like, no.
Wait,
He can be side in the background humorously, but he's not going on our page.
Fucking.
Oh no! I mean, his reel with the Jaeger bum got like.
That's because Chris shared it.
Yeah.
Oh,
when
you
you
did?
share stories,
Okay.
every story view I have counts as a view on the reel.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it got 5 billion, is what Chris
Yeah,
is trying to say.
that's what Chris trying to say.
I thought he was gonna
no.
get more followers from that. He got like 20.
I know.
Yeah. He's got to keep being consistent with
Yeah,
the
he's-
corny shit.
Oh, we're gonna pump. Get Code Janitor just flying.
Watch him be number 1 under you.
Vaughn, watch out.
You should just cancel mine and I'll start pumping it.
Code janitor.
Yeah.
Last question. Someone wanted to know if you could go back to your like teenager or young 20s self. What advice would you give him? What advice would you give that young buck, if any? Because I feel like
So who we turned into now?
Hmm?
So who we turned into now? Like if we're talking to ourselves
Yeah.
retrospectively
Are you
at
talking
20?
us talking to ourselves? Or are
Yes, us. You guys talking to your younger selves.
Oh,
I'll do exactly
I
what you
can't
Yeah.
pick something.
yeah. I'm bad at these.
Worked out pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's what I was, yeah.
I'm like,
It's like
like realistically, like
Yeah.
I would have liked to have told myself to like take more risk and stop caring about like what other people's thought of you, because I was pretty like in my head
Introverted.
person and like didn't want to take risks,
Mhm.
but like I clearly still did, and I still got here, and like
yeah.
some of that introvertness caused me to like Matt knows this, the more you're kind of introverted, the more observant you are, and you're a little more calculated, you can understand people a little better, and it led to me being who I am right now, which is like my unique self, you know.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have wanted to change that, 'cause I don't want to fuck with the time warp, you know. I want to change the
Yeah,
fucking
no.
dimension of time.
I agree. I don't believe.
Yeah,
in,
I mean, I
changing
wouldn't
shit.
change I wouldn't change a thing.
You come to a point in your life where you understand where like you actually like people hear that the shit that happens in your past shapes you and it's for the good, but you come to a point in your life where you're actually just so grateful for your life that you can't help but be grateful for anything that happened negative in the past, because it's
Correct.
the only reason you're here.
Yeah.
Like truly the only reason that you were able to grow was because of that shit, and you wouldn't have be the same person without it.
Yeah, I mean, I look back at like one of the worst times of my life was like when I got divorced from my ex-wife, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Now, right? Like, it was literally God like saving me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally just did a talk this weekend at that health summit about how 2018 was the worst year of my life at the time, because when I got diagnosed with my autoimmune disease, I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to lose bodybuilding, lose my career, and everything was fucked. I became a victim. I lived in fear of my health. I won the next Olympian, didn't even enjoy winning because I was so afraid of my health.
Yeah.
And now I was like, I'm the only reason I was able to then stop myself, look inward, focus on my shit, and focus on like mentality over everything and mindset is because of what happened to me there. And I had to overcome that victimhood of my health.
Yeah.
I literally tattooed 2018 on my body now because I love that year. You know, it's the only reason I am who I am now.
You tattooed that on your body?
Yeah, it's on his ass cheek.
I was showing Dom last night.
Yeah, he did. I saw it.
Well, yeah, so that was all the questions, all the good questions at least. Anything you'd like to give the viewers insight on, since it's been a while since all three of you have been together on the podcast? It's been a minute.
Nope.
No? Good? All right. Love
You
that.
got enough, assholes.
Episode 32.
31.
31.
I was foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. All right, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, please comment, and see you later.
Perfect.
Done.
I don't like this thing.
Yeah, I want to get different mics.
Stands?
Yeah, mic stands.